This is pre-market pulse powered by Zintch. A fast, clean read on the tone of the market before the opening bell. No hype, no noise, just the signals that matter. Here's how the market is setting up this morning.
Good morning, cobbers, and welcome to the Zintch.com pre-market pulse for Monday, May 4, 2026. The numbers at 6:39 a.m. Eastern Time. Futures are mixed to slightly red this morning, with the Dow leading lower and tech holding near flat. Dow Futures, 49,409.00. Down 237 points, down 0.48%. Nasdaq Futures, 27,823.50. Down 12.25 points, down 0.04%. S&P 500 Futures, 7,246.50. Down 11.50 points, down 0.16%. The S&P 500 closed at a fresh all-time high of 7,230.12 on Friday. Its 12th record close of 2026 and 5th consecutive winning week. This morning's pullback is modest. The market is digesting a weekend packed with headlines. A blockbuster M&A bid, a tanker attack in the Strait, and a new White House military operation. Friday's close. The Dow fell 152.87 points, down 0.30%, to 49,499.27, dragged by Amgen. The Nasdaq closed flat at 25,114.44 after hitting a record intraday high. The S&P 500 rose 21.11 points, up 0.29%, to 7,230.12, closing at a new all-time high. GameStop bids $56 billion for eBay. The biggest headline this morning has nothing to do with macro or geopolitics. GameStop is trying to buy eBay. Ryan Cohen's GameStop Corporation proposed a $125 per share cash and stock offer for eBay Incorporated. A roughly 20% premium to Friday's close of $104.07. The deal would value eBay at approximately $56 billion. Financing. TD Bank has committed roughly $20 billion in debt financing. GameStop's position already holds an approximately 5% stake in eBay. Market capitalization is approximately $12 billion with about $9 billion in cash. Synergy target. Cohen pledged $2 billion in annual cost savings within 12 months. eBay pre-market, trading around $114.39, up nearly 10%. This is a David buys Goliath play. GameStop is roughly one-quarter the size of its target. The deal faces significant regulatory and shareholder hurdles, but the market is taking it seriously. GameStop stock will be volatile today. eBay is pricing in a real bid. The broader red. This is the kind of deal that happens when markets are at record highs, corporate cash piles are enormous, and confidence is running hot. Whether it closes is another question entirely. Project Freedom meets reality. Trump announced Project Freedom on Sunday, a U.S. military operation to escort neutral shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, starting today. The plan would help stranded vessels and crews from non-involved nations exit the region safely. Hours later, reality arrived. A tanker was hit by projectiles 78 nautical miles north of Fujairah, UAE, according to UK Maritime Trade Operations. The crew is safe, but the message is clear. The Strait is still a live conflict zone. Iran's response was direct. Tehran warned that American forces will be attacked if they approach the waterway. At the same time, Iran indicated it received a U.S. response to its latest peace proposal, delivered via Pakistani intermediaries. The diplomatic channel is alive, but the military channel is louder this morning. Oil. Brent crude is near $108 per barrel after falling as much as 2.4% at the Sunday open. WTI is below $102. The initial Project Freedom optimism faded fast once the tanker was hit. Oil is now in a tug-of-war between diplomatic hope and on-the-ground escalation. For now, the market is treating this as noise rather than a new escalation. But if more vessels are hit today, that changes quickly. Asia surged overnight. The AI trade roared back in Asia. The MSCI Asia Pacific Index jumped as much as 2.3% on Monday. Its biggest single-day gain since April 8. South Korea, KOSPI, surged over 4%, driven by Samsung and SK Hynix on the AI semiconductor wave. The KOSPI is now up 57% in 2026. Taiwan, also up over 4%, led by TSMC. Asia's semiconductor dominance is the backbone of the global AI build-out. Hong Kong, Hang Seng, pushed above 26,000 for the first time in the current rally, up about 0.9%. 8 consecutive winning sessions. Japan, Nikkei, closed for Golden Week through Wednesday. Nikkei Futures traded modestly above the cash close. China, Shanghai, closed for Labor Day holiday through May 5. Trading resumes tomorrow. The narrative: AI is back as the dominant market theme. Last month's ceasefire between the US and Iran calmed nerves enough for investors to rotate back into growth. Asia's stock benchmark surged 13% in April alone, erasing nearly all of March's war-driven losses. Berkshire's first post-Buffett meeting. Berkshire Hathaway held its first annual meeting under CEO Greg Abel this weekend. The key takeaways: record cash, $397.4 billion on the balance sheet. The largest cash pile in corporate history. No breakup. Abel explicitly ruled out splitting Berkshire into smaller companies. Continuity. The message was clear: same playbook, new captain. Abel stressed operational discipline and long-term value creation. Buffett's presence. Warren Buffett was still in attendance and took questions, but Abel did most of the talking. The market read: Berkshire is stable, the transition is orderly, but $397 billion in cash is a statement. Abel sees better opportunities ahead and is willing to wait. Earnings and data this week. Today, Monday, Palantir reports first quarter earnings after the bell. Revenue expected to grow approximately 74% year-over-year. The stock has been on a tear, and expectations are sky high. A beat could push it higher, a miss would be punished. Strategy, formerly MicroStrategy, reports Q1. The company paused Bitcoin purchases ahead of earnings. This week, AMD, ARM, and Lattice Semiconductor. Semiconductor earnings that will test the AI spending narrative. Tuesday, Trade Balance, March, S&P Global PMI Services, ISM Services. Friday, April Nonfarm payrolls. Consensus is just 60,000 new jobs, down sharply from 178,000 in March. Unemployment rate expected to hold at 4.3%. This is the week's main event. Other movers. SoundHound AI surged 20% on Friday ahead of Q1 earnings this week. The voice AI company has rallied 62% from its 52-week low. Nebius Group, up nearly 12% pre-market on continued AI infrastructure momentum. Gold, $4,573.60, down 1.5%. Risk on sentiment is pulling money out of safe havens. Bitcoin, $79,072, up modestly. Crypto is quiet ahead of Strategy's earnings. VIX, 18.11, up 6.6%. The fear gauge is ticking higher on Hormuz uncertainty, but still well below panic levels. The read: this is a Monday morning where the headlines are louder than the futures. The S&P is at a record high. GameStop is trying to buy eBay. A tanker was hit in the Strait of Hormuz. Asia surged on AI. Berkshire is sitting on $397 billion in cash. And the April jobs report, expected to show a sharp slowdown to just 60,000 new positions. Looms on Friday. Futures are barely red. The market is not panicking about the tanker hit or the Hormuz standoff. It's not euphoric about GameStop's bid. It's waiting. Palantir after the bell today will set the tone for AI earnings this week. Friday's payrolls will set the tone for the Fed. The base case remains: record highs, strong earnings, sticky inflation, and a world that keeps finding reasons to buy the dip. But the strait is still closed, oil is still above $100, and the most divided Fed in 3 decades is watching the same data we are. That's your Zintch.com pre-market pulse for Monday, May 4, 2026. Good luck, and goodbye.